Welcome to the campus naloxone training. My name is Amber Riley, and I'm a Narcan Special Project Assistant. And this training is brought to you by Wellness Promotion and Student Health Services. First, we're going to give an overview about what an opioid is. So, an opioid is a class of drugs that affects the brain and central nervous system. It is found in both legal prescription medications, such as pain medications, and also illegal street drugs and substances, such as heroin and fentanyl. When you take an opioid, your perception of pain is reduced and your pain tolerance also increases. So, when it is used correctly, it can promote healing, but when it is used incorrectly, it can lead to overdose, addiction, and in some cases, death. Some of the signs of an opioid overdose or taking too much of a substance include becoming unconscious, unresponsive, or hard to wake up or stay awake. Cyanosis, which is blue lips and blue fingernail beds, slow or shallow breathing, snoring and gurgling sounds, and pinpoint pupils. So, naloxone, also known as Narcan, is an opioid antagonist, which is a substance that interferes with or inhibits the physiological effects of another. Naloxone attempts to reverse an opioid overdose by blocking the effect of opiates on the brain and helps to restore normal breathing. So now we're going to watch a short video about how to administer naloxone.
Narcan nasal spray is an emergency treatment designed to rapidly reverse the effects of a life-threatening opioid emergency. If you suspect an opioid overdose, check to see if the person will not wake up, is very sleepy, or is not breathing well. Do not test the nasal spray device before use. Narcan nasal spray is for use in the nose only and is safe to use even if opioids are not present. Hold the nasal spray device with your thumb on the bottom of the plunger. Insert the nozzle into either nostril and press the plunger firmly to give the dose. One nasal spray device contains 1 dose of medicine. Call 911 immediately after giving Narcan nasal spray. If the person does not wake up, continue to give doses every 2 to 3 minutes until the person wakes up. It is safe to keep giving doses. Stay until an ambulance arrives, even if the person wakes up. You have the power to save a life. For more information, visit Narcan.com.
And now Sydney will be taking over the second half of the training.
Yes. Hello, I'm Sydney Newman. I am a wellness promotion peer educator. And like my colleague Amber said, I will be handling the second half of the naloxone training. So some tips to keep in mind with regards to Narcan. You administer it in the nostril, as the video stated. You call 911. Now, this is very important because Narcan only works temporarily. So it's important that they receive medical attention ASAP. So make sure you call 911 after administering the dose. And a second dose can be administered 2 to 3 minutes after the first one in the opposite nostril. The person may have unpleasant feelings when they awake, so it's important to be alert and protect yourself if necessary. And this is because the person is going into opioid withdrawal, and the symptoms of that are not very pleasant. So the person may lash out or get angry. Not always, but they may. So it's important to be alert and aware of your surroundings to protect yourself. It's also important to know that naloxone will not work if the person is not breathing and they don't have a pulse. This is because of the fact that you administer it in the nostril, which requires their breath to get the Narcan up to the opioid receptors in their brain. So if you know how to, you can perform CPR first before you administer the Narcan. If not, that's also why it's important to call 911. So another tip to keep in mind is to not store naloxone in extreme temperatures and be mindful of the expiration date. So Try not to keep it in like your fridge or like in a hot car in like a heat wave in the summer. So that's just stuff to be mindful about. All right, so here at Westchester, we have a medical amnesty policy. It's based on PA's medical amnesty law. So the policy specifically here at Westchester is that first, you need to call 911 and reasonably believe you're the first person to call. You have to provide your name to emergency services. You have to stay with the person who needs assistance until emergency services arrive and take care of the person. And you must comply with any post-event educational or counseling objectives appointed by student conduct and or wellness promotion. All right, so where do you find naloxone or Narcan here at Westchester? So Narcan can be found in several different campus locations. It can be found in Campus Rec. It can be found in the Center for Contemplative Studies, the Francis Harvey Green Library, the Graduate Center, the Veterans Center, Human Resources, Lawrence Hall, specifically the Counseling Center, Center for Women and Gender Equity, and Residence Life, South Campus, specifically the Village Clubhouse Mailroom and South Side, Student Health Services entrance, which is in Commonwealth Hall on the ground floor. This specific location is available for access 24/7. So at any point, a student can walk in and grab some Narcan if necessary. Sturz-Becker, Psych Student Union, specifically the Center for Student Involvement and Fraternity and Sorority Life, and the Westchester Philadelphia campus. Also, Narcan is also attached to all AEDs on campus. So if you need to use an AED, Narcan will be provided in there. It's important to note that if you're walking past an AED, don't just take the Narcan out and go on your merry way. Please try to only use the Narcan in there if you also need to use the AED machine, especially because Narcan is available at several other locations on campus. So for further assistance, there is the Chester County Drug and Alcohol Services. Here's their website. There's also PA 211. They have a website. You can also dial them at 211 or text at 898-211. Thank you. You can scan the QR code and provide your feedback.